What's up, guys? We're going to be learning some more SQL, more specifically subqueries, but we're also going to introduce some window functions. So let's get into it. So here we have our question. The most recent 3 orders, right? So here we have our customers table and our orders table. We have our customer ID, primary key, and the name for that customer. And we have our orders table, which has our order ID, which is the primary key, the order date, and a foreign key to reference our customers table, which is our customer ID and the cost. And we need to write a solution to find the most recent 3 orders of each user. And if a user ordered less than 3 orders, you want to return all their orders, right? And we need to order it by customer name in ascending order, customer ID in ascending order, and if there's a tie, still order it by the order date in descending order, right? So let's look at this example. Here we have our customers table, and here we have our orders table. And as you can see, here we have our most recent orders per person. And one thing I noticed is that Khalid isn't in this table because it looks like Khalid didn't make any orders, right? So there's no 5 in here. So let's talk about how we can do this question, right? Obviously, we're going to do a join, right? We're going to join our customers table with our orders table, right? And that way we can get our customer name, customer ID. When we join it with our orders table, we'll get our order ID and the order date, right? But then if you then think like, okay, this is just a normal query, and then we order it by order date in descending order, how are we supposed to know, which order dates we can filter out? And that's where our window function will come in. So let's first do our join, right? So we have our customers table, and we have our orders table, customers, orders, and we want to do an inner join here because if a customer never made an order, then they shouldn't show up in our output, right? So that's why we're going to do an inner join, right? So it's the intersection of these 2 tables. And with that, we'll get something like our customer name, customer ID, order date. So let's say customer name, customer ID, the order ID, and the order date, right? So we'll have a table that looks like this after we do our join. But now we want to do a window function in which we can partition over a window, right? So say we just wanted to order our order dates in descending order, but only for each customer, right? So say we're just looking at, so say this is our output. We're obviously going to have more dates in here for our output, but say we're just looking at Annabelle and her orders. We need to do a partition by customer ID here, and then we need to order it by our order date, right, in descending order. And let's just get into coding so this will make a little bit more sense to you. So here's our editor, and let's just start with our subquery. So we need to do customers dot name, and we'll call this customer name, and then we need our customer ID, customer ID, all right, yep, and then orders dot order ID, and then we need our orders dot order date. right? And then let's select this from our customers. And obviously we need the intersection, so we'll do a join orders on customers dot customer ID equals orders dot customer ID. Right, let's take a look at this table. And we get something that looks like this. Obviously, you know, we have every single order per customer, right? And, you know, we have more than 3 orders. So if we did an order by orders dot order date and descending order, you know, that'll give us a different looking table, which looks like this, where it doesn't look at each person and their most recent orders. It'll just order it based on the whole table. So that's why we need a window function. We need to window it by the customer and order it by the order date, right? And then, you know, we can come up with a way to limit how many orders for, like, just get the top, you know, X amount of orders for that customer ID, right? And a way we could do that is with a row number. So this is like one of the window functions, row number. You can also use rank or dense rank, but mainly we just want to partition our table, and we want to partition it by our customer ID. And then we want to order it. Order by orders dot order date and descending order. Let's get rid of this order by. And let's take a look at our table. We get something that looks like this, right? So we have Winston and his top orders, or most recent orders. Jonathan and his most recent orders, and they're all in the right order. Annabelle, Marwin, and this is our subquery, right? And now we can do another query on this, where we just say where the row number is less than or equal to 3 in this case, right? And then we can order it, and that'll be our solution. So let's call this customer name and customer ID and order ID and order date from where, let's call this row number, where row number is less than or equal to 3. And then we want to order by, let's see what it says, customer name in ascending order, customer ID in ascending order, and order date in descending order. Let's take a look at this. All right, let's run it. Cool, so this worked, and hopefully you learned something. Thanks for watching.